Hello, hello. It is your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Gonna be streaming some metal stuff right now. And then Alex is gonna be joining me a little bit later on, and we're doing some new metal releases like the new Baby Metal Electric Callboy collab, and a few other songs that we're going to be checking out live. So it's going to be a little bit chaotic. And then following that, we're going to be doing some K-pop stuff. So if you want to come in later to watch the K-pop stuff, we're going to be doing that too. So yeah, but in terms of albums I wanted to check out tonight or today, wherever you're watching this, Northlane, I've been putting this been putting this EP on the back burner for a little bit, and it's finally time that I jump into it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And then I had my good friend Dom recommend I should check out the new Boys of Fall album. So I'm going to be doing that. And then to round it out with a new release that came out yesterday, Capstan released their newest album, Mosaic, which is, I didn't even see, it's a very long album. It's like over an hour long. So that's going to be crazy. But yeah, we got a couple of fun things to do live. And then in terms of the K-pop stuff, we're going to be doing like XG, New Jeans, a couple of other ones as well. So if you want to stay tuned for those will probably be in like a couple hours, because this is like 30 minutes. The Boys of Fall album's like 40 minutes, and then Capstans is like an hour. So bear with me. It's been a little bit chaotic, but either way, excited to jump into these. More specifically, I've been excited to jump into this Northlane EP. I have only listened to Dante, which I really enjoyed, and I'm excited to get into some of these other ones that I haven't listened to. I will say, in terms of collabs or features on the song, I think this album has some really great features. So pretty stoked about this one. If you like Northlane, go show them some love. If you're not familiar with Northlane, they are an Australian like genty metalcore band that incorporates a lot of like EDM and electronic elements. So definitely a band to check out if you have not yet. Their previous album, Obsidian, was like one of my favorite albums of recent times. So go show it some love if you haven't already. So very, very stoked. But either way, we're going to get into Mirror's Edge, which is this EP, and get into the title track, which is also Mirror's Edge. So see what's up. Oh, it's an intro. It's an intro. Makes sense. Ooh. Oh, okay. This is track 2, After Image. This tune's so low. Oh, clean chorus. So cool. I like this. I like that, like, harmonic riff. Big chorus. I like this. Ooh. That was a clean drum fill. All right, sick. If you're just tuning in, that was track 1 and track 2 from Northlane's newest EP, Mirror's Edge. Obviously, the first song being the intro, Mirror's Edge, to their EP. And then this is that was After Image that we just listened to, and that features Ian Kenny of Carnival. If you have not checked out Carnival, they're also really cool. Very like progressive. So if you like a good like prog metal band, go check them out. But in terms of this song, Mirror's Edge, I think there's not really too much to talk about. Usually intro tracks are a good lead into, After Image, which I think I'm going to be talking more about. Though I did like the way that they set it up. Really nice. I've always really loved Marcus's voice. I think this one leads into the song really nicely, and I like towards the end of Mirror's Edge, you got a little bit of his vocal stuff, so definitely appreciate that. Always fun to hear. But this song specifically, I don't know what tuning they're in, but it definitely feels a lot lower than what I've known them to do, so definitely appreciate that. As well as that, I love the, like, really progressive elements of this track. I do feel like they fill in those gaps that I've been looking for quite a while. I always think that Northlane has always been that band for me that I've always enjoyed every release that they've put out, but more specifically, I feel like they've always been kind of in a new era every time ever since Marcus joined the group, which I believe he joined with like Node and stuff like that. So they definitely changed up their sound to, I would argue, fit his vocal styling a lot more, but he's gotten a lot heavier over the years, and so I appreciate that they've found that kind of middle ground between the two. But I think this song, very similarly to Dante, if you have not listened to Dante, we will be getting into that a little bit later on, but I feel like they always strike a really great balance of allowing Marcus to do some really great screaming work, but on top of that, doing some really great cleans. That was kind of where I got more familiarized with Marcus prior to him being in Northlane, and I've always really appreciated his clean vocal style. But I feel like this song does a really great job of highlighting his more like darker, more melodic sort of vocal sensibility in this track. So appreciate that as well. I'm not entirely sure what Ian Kenny does in terms of the if he's a vocalist or a screamer or like instrumentalist. So I couldn't really tell where he was at in terms of the song. It felt like a majority of it was Marcus. So if somebody knows, let me know. That'd be very greatly appreciated. But yeah, no, I love this song. This is really great. I think this one definitely plays more with space in terms of like the structure of the track. There's a lot more open-endedness to it that I really love about it, as well as that just their incorporation of a lot of like electronic elements, a lot of the synth, a lot of the bass work. I think fills out this track really nicely. And again, I got to give a shout out to Nick, who is their drummer. He's got great rhythm and great fill work in this track. There was a lot of cool, like syncopated, like paradiddles sort of moments in this track that he's just, to me, one of those iconic drummers. So appreciate this song a lot for that reason alone. But yeah, this one was very fun, very open-ended, but I think does a great job of, if you haven't heard of Northlane prior to this, then I think this is a good song to give you a pretty good idea of not only what they're doing, but as well as that, hopefully a view into some other albums that they have done. I would, again, if you like this song, I would recommend giving Obsidian a listen, which was their previous album. I think you'll definitely love it. If not the case, let me know. But we are going to move it on to the next track, which is track 3. This is Miasma. And this one features Winston McCall of the band Parkway Drive, another Australian band. I think Carnival is also an Australian band, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely go check out those bands, and then obviously Structures. Shoutouts to Brendan as well. Very sick band too. But yeah, let's get into Miasma right now. So. Oh, okay. Ooh. Much heavier. Oh, Nick is a monster. Holy shit. Oh, his falsetto tone's so nice. I love that synth. Super sick. Ooh, let's go, Winston. Oh, interesting. Okay. I thought they were gonna go for another throwdown part. Interesting. I like it though. I like they faded it out. All right. If you're just joining us, this was track 3, Miasma, featuring Winston McCall of the band Parkway Drive. If you've not heard of them, legendary metalcore group from Australia. So, big ups to this track specifically. I love this. This was like everything I was kind of looking for. Has some really kind of pristine clean vocals from Marcus, of course, but also his screaming tone has gotten so much better, and I just love how bitey it is. He's just got a nice kind of like rasp to his scream that I really appreciate, and especially in the chorus where I think he does that kind of like vocal. I don't want to say it's vocal strain, but it's like this like pitched scream essentially. But really cool stuff. The song has a great sort of rhythm to it, and right out the gate is just a strong song, and it just kind of continues on that same pathway. So I absolutely love that element of it. I do also love Winston. I do miss the days of when he used to do some heavier stuff. No offense to Parkway Drive, obviously legendary band, and I could never talk shit about them because there's a lot of bands that I love particularly that were obviously influenced by Parkway Drive, especially the earlier stuff. So iconic group that I would never want to diss, but I want to say this felt very akin to old Parkway Drive. Winston sounds great. I love his vocal tone. He comes about midway through this song. He does a really great job of setting the pace for the song. Then as well as that, he kind of comes in at the last chorus as well too. So I like that they kind of give him a multitude of features on this song specifically. But yeah, this one was very rhythm focused, but also like the synth work was really cool. Adds this kind of, again, darker ethereal overtone that I do feel like Northlane does a really great job of and nailing. And this song to me feels amongst the quintessential Northlane tracks. So definitely appreciate that a lot. But yeah, overall, this one very, very much in my lane. Again, if you like this song and you liked After Image, you will definitely like Obsidian. I do feel like they expand upon that sound a little bit more. So if you're a big fan of EDM, big fan of progressive metalcore, then I think this is a band that you should definitely go check out if you haven't, because there are some people I'm sure out there that have not heard of Northlane, so go show them some love. But yeah, this was a great one. I think currently right now, I think I have Miasma probably at number 1, After Image is a close second. I have listened to Dante. Dante's probably amongst those three as well, but I also want to listen to Let Me Disappear and Craft next. So we will be jumping into those in a second. Speaking of which, we are going to get into track 4, which is Let Me Disappear. So let's give that a listen. Okay. That like really fuzzed out guitar tone. Interesting. Interesting. Ooh. Interesting. This is a very weirdly put together song. Ooh, okay. Ooh. This is such a interesting song. Interesting way to end this one, huh? All right, guys, that was track 4, Let Me Disappear, from Northlane's newest EP, Mirror's Edge. If you have not checked out Northlane, go show him some love. But this song specifically, very interesting. I don't think I would have expected this one. I appreciate that they're going out and doing different things, especially this track. This one feels like very much of a black sheep on the record, but not in a bad way. Kind of was taken aback by that, like, first, I guess that first chorus is really interesting to me. Like, especially the way that they have, like, the guitars worked out. Like, if it feels like Marcus is kind of doing this, like, almost pop type vocal, like, melodies and stuff, but then the guitar riffs are more like a little bit angrier. So I don't know if, like, maybe I'll have to give this one more of a listen, but the juxtaposition of that was very interesting. Um, as well as that, I think this song definitely highlights Marcus the most. Vocally, he is doing a lot of different things. I love the kind of like pitched vocal like rasp that he's doing in the second verse. That was really sick. Obviously incorporating a little bit of screaming in here, but I think a majority of this song was mostly singing. So that was pretty impressive to me because I feel like some of the other songs don't get to highlight more of his like grittier tonality. And I think this song definitely highlights this the most in terms of, and I want to differentiate. It's not like screaming. That felt like more singing, more akin to singing than it would be to screaming. Um, but I was pretty impressed by this one. I think there was a lot of cool vocal tones as well, which I liked. But yeah, the instrumentation was very odd. I think that was probably the only thing that I felt like in my head. I was like, does it actually work the way that I feel like it should work? And if that's the case, maybe I have to give it some more listens. But yeah, this one was definitely very, very cool in a unique way. And I would argue if I was listening to this like with my eyes closed, I would know specifically which track we were on in this EP, and I wouldn't have any sort of like I wouldn't be concerned of where we would be at. So in terms of that, I think it definitely defines itself within the EP. So I like that element of it. And the instrumentation kind of takes a little bit of I don't want to say a little bit of a backseat, but definitely structured out very uniquely. It does feel like more like we're doing like this really cool like intro part of the song, then we're gonna hit you with the first verse, then we're gonna hit you chorus, second verse. Like the structure seems very like the same, and in terms of like progressive elements, I feel like they definitely removed a lot of those different modes within that song, this song specifically, and then just kind of had it be a little bit more direct, a little bit more straightforward. So I think to me that was kind of a little bit of an interesting switch up, considering we had just listened to Miasma, which was more progressive. So I do appreciate when they do that, because I think it does juxtapose that thought that you have in your head about where it should go musically. But we should give this one another listen. I'll definitely be coming back to this one post stream, but I've this one was one that I think I'll have to give a little bit more time to feel like I'm truly vibing with it. But not bad overall. I definitely feel like vocally this is the most expansive track so far that Marcus has done, so appreciate that a lot. Gunky says this song fits my taste more than the previous one. Hey, that is all good. You know, it definitely feels a little bit more tame, which is never a bad thing. I feel like you want to have at least like one or two songs that are a little bit more chill, quote unquote. I know this isn't really like chill music, but like chill in terms of structure. I feel like this one doesn't have those crazy like progressive elements to it, so it's a little bit easier to grasp onto. But we are going to move it on to track 5, which is Craft. This one features Brendan from the band Structures. If you love like that proggy metalcore stuff, you should look no further than Structures. They're great. I've covered a majority of their stuff over on the channel, so go show them some love. But yeah, let's get into Craft. I'm pretty stoked about this one. Also, Brendan used to be in Northlane, so this is very interesting, but also really cool. So I love that. Shout outs to Brendan. So let's get into Craft. Ooh. This is way more proggy. They always choose the like dirty-ish synth sounds, and I love that. Ooh. Ooh. The rhythm on this. This is definitely an odd time signature. That was wild. Ooh. Okay. That rhythm switch up? Okay. Youthful, what's going on? Joining us for the heavy stuff right now. All right, that was Craft. That one features Brendan from Structures. Oh man, this was a treat. I like this. If you have not heard of Structures, they are also in the same sort of category of heavy progressive metalcore type stuff. So if you like that, you're gonna like that. Really stoked. But yeah, this song specifically, I enjoyed. Mirror's Edge. It might be a reference to this Mirror's Edge, the game, potentially. Yeah. But I enjoyed this one. Really, really interesting rhythm stuff. Keen, thanks for joining. Came here to lurk and farm points. That's not a bad move. Hopefully you'll like what we're listening to. This is probably about as heavy as we'll go tonight for streaming. And then please I was gonna say, man, if you're sleeping to this music, you're like me. But anyway, getting back to the song here, really enjoyed kind of the more like polyrhythms, a lot of cool switch offs or trade offs between both Brendan and Marcus. Love that. I think the different elements of them to combine are really cool. I think Brendan always has had a really unique like screaming tone, so appreciate that a lot, and I think they do well to balance each other. And considering they used to be together in Northlane, it would make sense that their synergy is good. So definitely appreciate that a lot. Love the synth elements of this. I think if you are a true like again, if you're a true like progressive fan and you like that type of stuff, then I think this one will definitely satisfy your needs to enjoy that sort of stuff. So love this a lot. As well as that, this one is primarily all screaming. I think there was maybe about a little percentage of that was clean singing from Marcus, which was really nice. And I think once you get into Dante, which is the next track, you're gonna be pretty surprised as this. So really like this one a lot. Very fun. And yeah, definitely probably a standout track for me on this record, along with Miasma. I really enjoyed those two songs specifically the most. But I also really love Dante. Dante is also a really, really great one as well. So we're going to get into this one. Pretty stoked. I gotta read some of these comments. Alarm clock music, more like, yeah, it kind of is. But hey, you know what? Listen, it's a good vibe. I like this stuff. I'm slowly hoping that some people that enjoy the K-pop stuff will randomly join me for these streams. So, Dante, like Dante's Inferno. I don't know if there was any correlation to that. I would assume maybe more Dante in regards to like Devil May Cry. If we're still going off the video game theme, I feel like that's a potential. But Dante's Inferno is also probably a pretty good answer as well. And Gunky says, good music when you're falling asleep while what? How often is that? Yeah. Oh my god. Dante's Inferno is a really old book. Yeah, that is true. It could be in relation to that, but I'm my guess. I feel like I know Northlane is, I would argue, is pretty big video game heads. So I want to say it's more. I want to say maybe it's more closely related to Devil May Cry, but I don't know. If Northlane, if you'd like to answer that question, is in the comments, that'd be really sick. But if you do watch it, I don't know. But we're gonna move into the last one. This one's Dante. I think I'm gonna say I feel like chat might like this one, so I'm gonna get into it. Dante was sick. Yeah. Well, shout out to Mick Gordon. He does a great job too. Great band to see live too. I agree. I agree, Youthful. Nick is a monster on drums. I'm glad it's fitting the soundtrack, Gunky. The little halftime section. Straight. Nice little soft ending. The grungy synth is great, yeah. That's what I love about this band. I've listened to this song so many times, so I'm not as reactive to it. I'm pretty sure this is a concept album. I'll have to go double check that, but I'm pretty positive this was a concept record. I remember them making a post about it, so it was pretty cool. All right. If you're just tuning in, that was track 6 from Northlane and their EP Mirror's Edge. If you like any of this sort of stuff, I would definitely recommend checking out their previous album Obsidian that came out in 2022. That was also great. So if you love that combination of like strong EDM and like really heavy guitars and like some screaming, some singing, then I think I think they do a really great concept of that in their previous album, but this is also a really great representation of what they do too. This song I've heard many times. This was actually the first song that they released in terms of the single. I think beyond that, they released After Image and Miasma as the other 2 singles before they released the entire EP. But when this first came out, I was a little concerned because, you know, typically Northlane has a good combination of both screaming and singing, and I think this one does a unique job of doing more singing. And as I've stated multiple times throughout this live, I've been following Marcus, who is their vocalist, in his previous project where he has done more singing versus screaming, and over the years he's been with Northlane for I think like 3 or 4 albums now at this point, and he's just become such a great vocalist over that time. I think he's expanded his singing range, but as well as that, I think he's expanded his screaming even further. So definitely like this element. I think this song gives me a little bit more of a pull towards his previous project and showing off more of his clean vocal range. So absolutely love that. I also like that he kind of dips into that like grungier, grittier vocal tone as well too. I think that does a great job of lending itself, especially in the more heavier moments of this song. But it also kind of gives me, instrumentally wise, kind of gives me like a little bit of like some like newer-ish Linkin Park type vibes, which is always great. I would imagine Linkin Park is probably one of their influences, but definitely like some Linkin Park aesthetics in there, and you know, I can't knock, they're one of the greats. So I love that there's that incorporation of that in this song specifically. But yeah, I think this does a great job of melding those synth elements that you know and love about this group, but also in the same token, I think it plays more into the ethereal nature of the song. I think the music video for this is also really great, so I would definitely go check that out if you have the time to. Does a really great representation of Dante, which is the song specifically. So I think they do a good job of laying it out there for you. But I also think as well as that, this is a good song to kind of close out, wrap out this EP, and I do feel like again it shows off a completely different side. If you have been listening to this from front to back with me, I just do feel like it gives you a good perspective on what different types of variations that you'll get from Northlane. You have some heavy stuff, you have some stuff you sing along to. So to me, I love this EP. Really great. Do I feel like it does it? Do I feel like it holds up to their previous album? I kind of put it on a similar level. I do feel like Obsidian, obviously there's more tracks, so there's more things for them to delve into, but I think this EP does a really great job of giving you a good perspective. And if this is your first time listening to Northlane, I think it does give you a good idea of what you can come to expect from their music. So if you like this, as I mentioned before, go check out the previous album. Really great stuff. But yeah, this was a cool EP. I think my favorites were definitely I'd probably say Miasma was probably my favorite out of all of them. Um, I have a little bit of a soft spot for Dante just because I think vocally it's probably one of my favorite Marcus's songs, at least. Um, but Craft was also really great too. I think in terms of the two heavier songs, Miasma and Craft, I definitely appreciate that one the most. But in terms of the clean singing and more of a better of a arrangement, I would say Dante does a really great job, and I'd probably put that at number 3. Let Me Disappear, I probably have to give a few more listens. That one was a little bit odd for me, and then Mirror's Edge and Afterimage were interesting as well too, but I think those ones I can warm up to a little bit quicker than I feel like Let Me Disappear. And that's not to say that that's a bad song specifically, but yeah, definitely a different vibe. But yeah, go check out Northlane. Love those Australian homies. Go check them out. I've seen them a good handful of times now at this point. Great live show. I think they do a really, really great job of blending EDM and progressive metalcore type stuff. So if you vibed out, cool.